Every time his wife came back from the supermarket, she would act strangely.
It's a chef's pal. It's a dicer, grater, peeler, all in one. Never needs sharpening, dishwasher safe.
Wow. That's amazing.
When she was making cocoa for her husband, it felt like she was doing a live commercial in front of the camera.
Why don't you let me fix you some of this new Mococo drink? All natural cocoa beans from the upper slopes of Mount Nicaragua, no artificial sweeteners.
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
I've tasted other cocos. This is the best.
What the hell does this have to do with anything? Tell me what's happening!
After years of his wife suddenly reciting ad slogans, Truman finally couldn't take it anymore and exploded.
Dice me, slice me, so many choices!
Do something!
In a panic, she looked up at the ceiling and cried for help, completely exposing a shocking secret.
Who are you talking to?
Nothing, I didn't say anything.
Truman's entire life turned out to be a reality show carefully designed from his birth, and it had been broadcast continuously for 30 years. It wasn't until he turned 30 that he slowly began to realize his whole life had been controlled. This is Sea Haven Island, where Truman had lived for 30 years. That day marked the 10,099th day of the show's broadcast. Truman, as always, greeted his neighbors with a bright smile. At the same time, 2 billion viewers around the world were tuning in to watch another day of his life. But this day was destined to become the turning point of the story. On his way to work, an unknown object suddenly fell from the sky. It was a professional studio light, but the radio claimed it was a plate part that had fallen due to mechanical failure. The official's weak explanation made Truman believe it and drop his suspicion for the moment. Everyone in town seemed to know Truman. Every time the twin brothers greeted him, they would deliberately press him against the wall to showcase the chicken ad behind him. Every morning before work, Truman would habitually buy a newspaper and a beauty magazine. He works as an insurance manager, but the magazine wasn't meant for his wife. It was a little secret he had kept for years. Truman pretended to cough. He took the chance to tear out the model's eyes. Then he made a long-distance call, but he was accidentally discovered by a colleague. Soon another colleague handed Truman an important order. To Truman's surprise, the client was on the other side of the strait. To avoid being laid off, Truman had no choice but to buy a boat ticket. He stood at the dock trembling with fear, because he had always been afraid of water. In the end, the deal fell through, but that didn't matter, because all of this was a test carefully arranged long ago. Its purpose was to confirm whether Truman had the courage to leave Sea Haven Island.
That is a beer.
The man in the commercial is named Marlin. He's Truman's best friend since childhood. So Truman finally confessed the secret he's kept buried for years. He's always wanted to go to an island on the other side of the world, Fiji, because someone he can't forget lives there. But Marlin thinks he's being foolish and doesn't support him. Late at night, Truman stares out at the sea alone. He recalls a painful memory. When he was a child, his father took him out to sea for the first time. Because Truman was playful, they missed the best time to return. Then tragedy struck. A storm mercilessly swallowed his father into the sea. Since then, Truman has suffered from a fear of the deep sea. But now he gazes at the ocean with unwavering eyes. He's made up his mind to conquer his fear. Just then, a strange rain begins to fall.